Hey, it's Tammy, and this is another episode of Where's the Sun? These videos are made to help you navigate the changes in energy as the sun moves through the gates of the human design mandala. So, what does that mean? It means that the sun moves through the mandala, which I don't have a picture on me right now, but it's a circle with all the gates. So, the sun moves through each of the gates, similar to how the sun moves through each of the signs in astrology. And when it does this, it takes 6 days to move through each one. And while you're moving through the energies, you actually see more of them playing out outside of yourself or around you or in situations that you're experiencing. So it's really cool to kind of listen to the video and either say, hey, that happened yesterday, or oh, this is what I have to look forward to next week. On a larger scale, there are also certain times in the process of a year that you should and shouldn't do certain things, or you should pull the trigger on certain things, and other times you should sit back and wait. So, a lot of people use like January as a time to kick off because it's the start of the new year, where in human design it's more August, September, maybe even a little bit of October, where that manifesting key really pops in, and that's where you should be actually pulling the trigger on things that you've thought of throughout the year. Usually it may be off by a couple days here and there, but usually in the spring and the beginning of the summer, we're processing through a lot of stuff, we're planning a lot of stuff, and now this week the sun is actually in the gate 33. It has a lot to do with manifesting, and it's sharing ideas. So you've collected all this information, and you're going to start to share it out to the greater good to build what you've been working towards or what you've envisioned throughout the year. But there are certain things that you kind of have to sit back and really look at and say, am I ready to share this yet? Is this the time for this information to come out? Should this come out, next month or next week or next year even? So it's really another point of evaluating what you want to share with people, what you need to share is more, and what you've actually, for many of us, been asked or invited to share. You always, when you're playing with these energies, have to follow the strategy of your type. So for myself, I'm a generator, so I have to wait for something to respond to that comes outside of myself. So if somebody asked me like a personal question, then I can check in with my authority, which is my sacral, to decide whether or not to share that information. For others, you may have to check in with your spleen, your splenic energy, or your emotional wave, because maybe you're an emotional manifester. So when I do a reading for someone, I get way more detailed about that information. If you request a free chart, you receive information on your type and strategy that's also free. So if you haven't gotten a chart yet, I suggest you send me a message or email me, or throw something in the comments to get my attention, and you can send me your birth information. A lot of this stuff is invaluable, and sometimes I don't think to run a chart until well into a relationship with somebody, like at a job, mainly because you don't always have somebody's birth date. But when you then, like for example, this week we're doing a strategic meeting at my day job, and I'm going to be taking the charts of the 2 other people that I'm working with on this plan and kind of incorporating how we all work to better balance how we can work together. So it's really a great tool. I think it's way more real, true, unchanging than like Myers-Briggs or one of those kinds of tests. I've often noticed that when I take a Myers-Briggs test, if I take it at different points in life, my type changes. So I'm also very kind of all over the place, but it does change, and my human design chart never changes. I can just choose how to use the energies that are around me. So, anyway, next week, or in a few days actually, because we're in line, there, like I said, there's 6 days of each gate, and we're in line 4 of the 33. So we'll be moving into the 7 in just a couple of days. And the 7 has to do with looking forward, but being in the moment. So you're enjoying where you are now, but you can look ahead to see where you're actually going to, or what your plan is. So you don't actually really have to do anything. The 7 isn't a huge, I just want to look something up really quick. The 7 isn't a huge manifester, but again, if right now you're talking and discussing about what you've been planning, then the 7 actually gives you that opportunity to sit back and take a breath and determine if where you're going is where you really want to be. So perhaps you didn't follow the privacy part of the 33, and you said something to someone that may or may not change the course of where you're going to go. This is the time where you can actually sit and acknowledge that information, or change your course just a little bit. The other part of the 7 is about leadership, and a lot of people with the 7 will fall into a leadership role whether or not they want it. I do have the 7. It does happen to me all the time. I end up being, the project person or the manager, or, I could go into a group and I'll just say something out of somewhere, and all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, that's a great idea, you should lead this group. I don't always love that, but that's the way it usually pans out. So there's that as well. So when you're leading people, it's important to know where you're leading them to. So this is actually a great energy for the meeting I'm having at my day job this week, because as we plan strategically, it's really giving us a vision of where we want to go, and then leading the people that are with us to that place. And it's a vision. So we can say, sorry, I have a Rose of Sharon outside, and there's always a bee or a hummingbird or something stopping by when I'm doing my videos. It's a little distracting. Anyway, the bee must mean something to someone out there, or maybe I should look it up in my book, but there it is. So like I said, the 7 is leadership. It's showing you where you want to go. It's a vision. So where the 33 gives you the opportunity to share some of the ideas of where you want to go, the 7 actually is the visioning area, and I'm sure within the next month we're going to end up with the energy to pull the trigger on that vision. I'm trying to think of what else is going on. I think that's about it for today. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Of course, if you have questions, comments, concerns, you want a free chart, anything like that, you can get in touch with me. Have a great week. Take care. Bye-bye.